go to Weasel, cause the Weasel say, pop, yeah, come.
Yeah. Half a pound of tuppenny rice, half a pound of treacle. That's the way the money goes. Pop goes the weasel.
A friend in need is a pest.
You're gonna be a successful WWF villain hated by millions.
When you first started with Vern, what was that like? It was exciting because it was a different place to be. Yeah. Outside of Indiana, where I started my home, this was different. This was big league to me. Yeah. Well, it was, and Vern had a lot of good towns, except they were all in winter towns. He didn't run Miami or Tampa. He had Winnipeg and Denver and Milwaukee and Green Bay and Chicago and Minneapolis and St. Paul and Omaha. They were cold in the winter, but it was a great place to work because you didn't have to work every day. You worked maybe 4 days a week, sometimes 5, sometimes 3. Summers in this part of the world, everybody likes to go to the lakes. Yeah. So Vern wouldn't shut down, but he didn't run Green Bay that much or those other towns. So you had a lot of free time, and you still made the two best territories in those days were AWA and the New York territory. Mm-hmm. New York, you could go there on top. You stay there for a year. Vince Sr. would tell you when you start, when you finish. He'd tell you how much you're going to make, and that's what it was. Coming here to AWA, I worked for him for 14 years. So you could stay if you were over and you didn't cause any trouble. And just like anybody else, you became a good employee. It was enjoyable working for him. Vern, I never had any problem with. He was fair with me. Yeah. And the only problem I had was when I left. They didn't want me to leave, and I wanted to leave because New York made me an offer I couldn't refuse. It was almost double my pay. Yeah. And I got a chance to go to New York, and I was going to do the TV from the Garden, from Madison Square Garden Channel. It was just a chance to do more things, and this was 1983, and I was, I was 44, so.
Well, I was at a time when they
were 30-some years old. I was ready to make a change. I didn't want to work past 50.
Yeah. But that was the time when everyone was kind of jumping.
Well, I could just see with Vince's TV and Vince's imagination, his ability. He's better than P.T. Barnum. Yeah. And he went and got the TV in St. Louis, and the boys were even watching his tape. It was exciting. It was different. Yeah. And I had an opportunity to go with Hogan and Gene Okerlund and Schultz.
And were you at that TV taping in a couple days after Christmas? Was the one in St. Louis? Like 83?
Could have been.
Yeah, because that's when Vince did the taping where they had Hogan, David Schultz, Gene Okerlund. It was in St. Louis.
Yeah. Because he was the middle of the country. So that's what he wanted to do, was have that as an office too. Yeah. And then one on the West Coast and East Coast.
Yeah.
And he never did it. But it was exciting because that was done different. It was you felt like you were a star. Yeah. Vern was a wrestler. Bruce and Snyder were wrestlers. Vince wasn't. Vince, everybody's got their own feelings about the man. He was always fair to me, and I had no problem with him. And always made you feel like you were worth something. So some promoters would talk down to you. Some promoters, like I said, give you $5. Didn't care, but no. He was okay with me.
I always thought, you're on one of I think the TNT show, and they showed footage of you, and I think it was at the Met Center, your first WWF appearance at the Met Center.
Yeah,
I think it was.
With Stud.
And I always thought that was your first WWF appearance. Why did I think that?
It was.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a complete surprise.
Yeah.
No one knew.
Well, I called him Thursday, Friday night from Denver. I couldn't take it anymore. I wanted to make a change. I could see that the AWA was going down, and Vince was really on a run, and I just wanted to be at a place and make that run. And I had a good money offer like I never had before. I was told what I was going to make. I was treated with respect. Not that they did in other places, but this was just different. And wanted to be a part of it.
So Friday night before the
I called Vince, and he told me to call him that Sunday. And I called him Sunday at home, and he says, well, here's where I'll fetch you at. He told me, how much money you making there? And I told him. He said, well, there'll be no problem with that. I said, how much can I make there? He said, I'll start you at this. It was twice the money I was making here. So I had to do it. And that next Sunday, they had their first show in Minneapolis. Not their first show, but they had one of their first at the Met Center. And I was supposed to manage Jesse Ventura in New York. The first time I was going to go to the Garden was that Monday after Minneapolis. And Vince asked me, would you mind managing Jesse? You know Jesse? I said, yeah, we're in the AWA together. He said, okay, do you get along with him? I said, yeah. He said, well, I want you to manage Jesse. I said, fine. So when I got to New York, I went in the dressing room, and he told me that Jesse had some circulation problems in his leg. And he didn't know if he would wrestle again or not.
Was that the night he was supposed to wrestle Hogan, I think?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So it was at the Garden in New York. And he wasn't there, so he said, would you like to work with Stud? I said, sure, I just wanted to be there.
Yeah.
I worked with Donald Duck. I think I have. Anyway, so that's how I started in New York. But I was originally supposed to manage Jesse, but I wound up with Stud.
Okay. And then you showed up was it after that at the Met Center? Or?
With Stud.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my first time. Because I remember Stud got in the ring and he made the announcement. I have a new manager. And then I came out.
Wow. Right in front of the hometown crowd.
And I wore a mask in the building that night. I came in the back way. No one knew me. No. I wore a mask and I put a rock in my shoe. So you can't walk your normal walk.
Yeah.
You can change your walk, but you'll eventually go back to your normal walk. Right. And I have a distinctive walk.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of bow-legged. And so I put a rock in my shoe so it would throw me off a little bit. I put it up front by the toes so it didn't make me limp. It just was uncomfortable. Just so I wouldn't walk bow-legged. I don't know if it worked or not. No one knew who I was. I walked in. I walked by fans that were fans at the AWA. I walked right by people. No one knew me. I changed luggage. I walked in the dressing room. Roddy Piper was there. He walked by me and I shoved him. Turned around and looked like he was going to hit me. I took the mask off. He didn't know who I was. And I hadn't seen him for years, but that's how that started.
So the crowd must have just been a resumption of what it was in the AWA then, pretty much.
Oh, it started with Weasel chants.
Yeah.
I told Vern, I said, you beat Nick one more time, you get to keep him.